Hello, guys. My name is Jordan, and I'm here with my friend.
William Michael Reed.
And today we're going to be discussing If I Can't Have Love, I Want Power by Halsey. And of course, this is shades of a song, as you can probably tell by the title. Now, Michael, contrary to popular belief, your belief, I've always thought Halsey was a competent artist, okay? So, yeah, calm down, because I see your face.
Because I don't think, okay, you have a very specific way of doing compliments and saying positive stuff, Jordan. And so I don't think the people listening would understand that you're not being sassy by saying competent. Because the way that you come off is you're like, well, she's competent.
She is
That's how you
competent.
come off.
Well,
You don't
that's
come off as,
the
oh
truth.
yeah, I think she's fine, like she's good, like she's a decent artist.
Wouldn't go
That's
that
not how you
far.
really come off. At least in my eyes, that's not how it comes off.
Prior to this album, I'm not sure if that's how I intend to come off. Although I like her well enough, but I think some of her fans did a little too much for her, including you.
I think that with each of her albums, she's done a really good job of capturing the era. Maybe she hasn't done the best job of giving what she thinks she's given,
Uh-huh.
especially as she's slowly built this storyline, this story type album that she has now been able to say that she can do. Because with Badlands, that was supposed to be a story.
I've
Don't
heard.
really, I as a fan do not really know how
Yeah,
that's supposed to be a story.
it's not.
Hopeless Fountain Kingdom was almost there with the story again, but this one actually hits with the story. So I think they are coming into getting to where they need to be to create their story type albums. I think that it's always been good, but yeah,
Adequate.
I mean, I understand what you're thinking. If you're trying to make it, judge it based solely off of what they say they were going for. But
Yeah.
I think that it's always been good. I've always loved it.
Well, I will tell you, this album, certainly in my opinion, is good. I was very, very pleased, and I wasn't necessarily expecting that to be the case. I know that you were extremely hyped up for it, but as you said, in the past, she has often said she was going to be doing more than she actually gave us. But finally she delivered, and
Yeah,
I'm
because
very
I don't.
pleased.
I think you can try if you look hard enough. You can find what she was going for on Badlands if you look hard enough
I
in
shouldn't
certain
have to
songs.
look hard.
And Hopeless Fountain Kingdom and certain songs, especially like Now or Never, or especially with the visuals, you can find the and in the in Good Morning and the prologue,
Hmm.
you can find the links to Romeo and Juliet, which is what that whole story was supposed to be. You can find those links, but it's much harder to see unless you're actually looking for it.
Yeah, I don't have.
Um, but in this one, the story is very clear.
I agree. Well, then we ought to begin discussing it.
Before we get into tradition, I do want to touch on.
Oh.
As you said, I was very hyped for this album,
Mm-hmm.
and yes, when it came out, I attended this online thing on Station Head. I think that's what the name of the app is called, um, where
Oh.
we listened to the album on repeat
Oh yeah, I know what this is about.
for 24 hours straight. I was there for most of it. I wasn't there in the beginning, but afterwards, I was there for like 13 hours after I woke up. It was quite good. It was quite fun. The people there were really nice, surprisingly. And then after,
Surprising.
well, yeah, because like when you're having interactions with people online, you usually don't expect them to be nice,
I guess so.
especially after Stan Twitter. Just
Oh
saying.
yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
But basically, they were really nice. And at the end, someone like put out this link for a Discord server, and I went to this Discord server, and it's so nice there, and it's such a great community. But the main chat on the Discord server is called the Merkin chat,
Okay.
and it's this running joke about Merkins. And I don't think you know what a Merkin is.
No, I don't. You've been wanting to explain it to me.
But I've been wanting to explain it to you since I started talking to you about this, but I wanted to explain it to you on podcast. So basically, the Merkin came about because there's a scene in the movie where Halsey is naked,
Mm-hmm.
and they're getting,
Entirely naked?
Yes,
Or
really
just
naked.
okay.
And they get into a body of water. Well, in the scene, you see um, Halsey's hair, okay? From down there.
Oh, her vaginal hair.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Apparently, it wasn't real.
Well,
It was a wig. And a wig for down there is called a merkin.
well,
So now it's a thing in Halsey fan Twitter where everyone's screaming about merkins because it's like Halsey's merkin. We loved that merkin. That merkin did a great performance.
that's actually a lot more entertaining than I expected it to be.
Yes. I
I,
did not realize what that, because I was like, I know what a Birkin is.
yeah,
And I was thinking Birkin, and then I was like, what is a merkin? Maybe it's like some brand from there.
no,
No, no.
mm-mm.
It is pubic hair wigs. That is what it is.
I hope your grandmother didn't hear that, because she's in the other room.
She can't hear.
Okay,
She's deaf.
well, I don't know why. I don't know why she felt the need to. Well, I look good for her.
But that was hilarious, and I just wanted you to know what a merkin was.
Well, now I
Anyways,
know.
now we can get into the rest of the song and the rest of the
Okay.
album if you want to.
That well, yeah. I guess to keep us on schedule, we need to. The first song is the tradition, and I will let you lead our discussion on most of these songs because you're better prepared.
Okay, like I always am.
Well, that's true.
So the tradition, I think, is a great opener for the story Halsey is about to tell. It is basically about society's traditional treatment of women.
That makes sense. I was gonna ask you what is it about.
It's basically this like what would be the word? Kind of like satirical but almost like not, kind of like skeptical look. Or there's a word that's like somewhere between those two terms. I don't know what it is.
Sardonic?
I don't know.
I don't know what
You know, it's hard time for me to think of words sometimes.
yeah.
But there's some kind of word. It's just very she's like looking at it and she's speaking about it sarcastically, but like she's also like she's speaking at it very sarcastically. And she's talking about the traditional way that women are treated. So she's accepting the whole status quo mindset, okay, of like male treatment of women, especially in relationships, of like the woman stays in the kitchen.
Yeah, I know.
She's accepting that, but she's also being very feisty about it.
Yeah, I get that vibe. I don't know what I thought it was about, but
I think important lyrics on here would be his smile hides a lie.
Yes.
And that is also very prevalent in the movie, which we'll discuss later.
Oh, we will.
After all of the track analysis is done. Another one that I really want to talk about is take what you want, take what you can, take what you please, don't give a damn.
That is the lyric I remember most prominently.
That's because it's the most repeated
yes,
lyric.
Is.
But that one is very evident for the meaning of the song, because what it is about is it's telling the man, okay, go ahead, take what you want, take what you can, because that's what they do. They just take.
Yeah.
In that status quo mindset, and then don't give a damn, because once it's taken, it's yours, is what they're saying.
I thought this song was like about the environment, because
do you even know what the album is about?
I know it's about motherhood and,
yes, it's
and
about
femininity.
The horrors
yes.
and the beauties of motherhood
yes,
and childbearing.
I know. And, you know...
It wouldn't be about the environment,
well, the Mother Earth and such. Yes.
Okay. The next line that I want to talk about is, you can't take it back, it's as good as gone. Flesh amnesiac, this is your song.
I don't remember that lyric at all.
That is a lyric that I really want to discuss, because I think that one is a very interesting way to put the modern concept of virginity into conversation.
What is an amnesiac in this context?
Okay, so flesh amnesiac, what Halsey is saying is you're trying to forget, is like you've like completely forgotten everything you've done with the flesh. So basically, you can't take it back, it's as good as gone is virginity.
Yeah, I get
in this context. It's the woman's virginity, which is so ostracized and like put on display in
Yeah,
society.
yeah.
And then the flesh amnesiac, you could see it as two meanings. You could see it as the woman trying to forget what they gave away before she understood what she was truly giving away. Or
Mm-hmm.
you could see it as a call out to the man who takes what he wants and then doesn't care, just forgets that they took it and doesn't care anymore.
Oh, okay. Well, I guess that's an interesting way of looking at it. I prefer the first interpretation personally, but
And I also want to say her vocal
interesting.
delivery is one of great passion on this song.
Yeah, I did notice that as well.
She is singing, but the listener can hear her emotion. It's raw and it's powerful, and I think that it almost is monarch sounding. If she was,
I
yeah, like
wouldn't
if
go
she
that
was
far.
like if she was like projecting. So if she was like a monarch giving like some kind of like battle cry or some kind of like big speech,
I think there's another song on here that
I think that
gives
it.
that.
I think the sound of what she is saying, how she's speaking, is very queen-like.
I think the production on it is honestly more royal address than her inflections, but that's your interpretation. Are you ready to move on
Yes, if
to
you don't
Bells
have
of
anything to
Santa Fe?
add, we can move on to Bells in Santa Fe.
And I don't really have anything to add. I like Bells in Santa Fe, though.
I think that Bells in Santa Fe is a really catchy song.
Catchy?
Yeah, in the parts that it repeats. So where she says, "Don't call me by my name,"
Uh, I don't know if catchy is the word, but I
and
would
all of
say
this is temporary.
I think that's more that just those one or two parts get stuck in your head. But catchy, I would think of, you can dance to it, and it's more than like one or two lines. But I see what you mean.
The way that she delivers it.
I I I still don't see how that's catchy.
Well,
I think it's like pleasing to hear. The well, I don't know the musical term for it, but the way she does the melody, I think it's pleasing to hear, but I wouldn't say it's catchy.
okay. Well, whatever the term is, I like the delivery that she gives.
Me too. Certainly on those two parts that you mentioned.
Um, I think production on this
What if
album
this is temporary too?
I think production on this album is quite exquisite, thanks to Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross, the two producers.
Mm-hmm.
They did a great job on production on most of the songs on this album, if not all of them.
Matter of opinion.
Okay,
You'll hear.
I we really will here because I think we're gonna have a very big disagreement on some songs. Anyways, this song, I believe, is about the coming of a new baby.
The bells of Santa Fe?
Yes,
All of this is temporary? No.
yes,
I.
coming of a new baby. The pregnancy is temporary.
Oh, the
The
coming.
emotion is temporary.
I thought she meant like it had just gotten here.
No, it's the coming of a new baby. It's the
Okay.
build up. So in the song I believed she's trying to cover up her past behavior. In a lot of the lyrics, she's covering up her past behavior and her sexual side
Mm.
of being a woman. Um, it's a song that obviously it's if you want me to pull up lyrics, I'll pull up lyrics to describe my point.
Oh, if you want to. I will say I definitely agree with you that this song is building towards something. That was, I think, the thing that stuck out most to me when I first listened to it is there's tension in the atmosphere and it slowly builds.
Okay. She's trying to cover up her past behavior and her sexual side. So, with lyrics like secondhand thread in a secondhand bed with a second man's head,
Mm.
um, that lyrics like that, where she's like obviously describing sexual encounters, is what I'm getting from that.
Yeah, I agree.
And then she follows that up with leaving through the door without a word, you won't even notice little bird.
I love the way she says little bird.
Little bird, I feel, is very much like a pet name for the baby. She's trying to leave her past life behind
That's a good point.
so that the child does not know who she was before she became a mother.
That's a good point, actually.
That is what I'm getting from this song. And it also, with Halsey themselves, where they discuss in interviews that it parallels the idea of this sexual being and being a mother, and how society sees the two as not being able to coexist at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Where you can't be a mother figure and you can't be a sexual being
I suppose
during the
so.
same periods of your life.
That's the definitely prevailing thought.
In Halsey's own words, the parallel of the Madonna and the whore.
Where was this?
Those are words Halsey used in interviews.
Oh, okay.
Um, Also, great transition to Easier Than Lying.
Yeah, I agree. Although, for me, it's more sonically than lyrically because Easier Than Lying, I think, is a release of all of the tension that's built up
Yeah,
in
well, I'm
Bells
not
of
talking about
Santa.
lyrically.
Oh, you're not? Okay,
No, I'm just talking about
wow.
the song in general.
Oh,
The song
yeah.
in general, like the transition from Bells in Santa Fe to Easier Than Lying is a great transition.
I fully agree. And I think that we can use this opportunity to transition to talking about Easier Than Lying.
Yes. Would you like to start?
No.
Okay. I see this is going to be a very heavy me episode.
I'm much better at responding to your points.
So, I quite enjoy the context of this song at this point in the album.
Okay.
I begin to understand in this song how I related to the work as a whole.
Okay.
Not because I could ever imagine the emotions Halsey is expressing when they relate to pregnancy and childbirth, but because I can recognize that I hear my own mother in these tracks.
You'll have to elaborate.
A lot of the events sound familiar to what I know of her own life.
Okay.
Like certain experiences and certain feelings that I would associate with my mother having, even if I don't know that for a fact that she's had them.
All right.
It gave me a whole new look at who my mother is as a person, and a new appreciation for the work she put in as a parent.
Okay. Well, you listen to this differently than me, but
Well, because I listened to it as a motherhood album.
I'm aware. Yeah, I sort of did. I did, but I like to invent other meanings for things in my head.
With the chorus, with one eye open, one eye closed, because I'll hang myself if you give me rope.
Is that the mother speaking?
That's her speaking.
Right, and she's the mother to her child?
Yes, she's just talking about herself. So she's talking about in her own emotions how if you give her the rope, so if you give her the weapon, she'll use it against herself. So if you give her the ammunition to hate on herself, she'll do it for you.
I got you. Well, that's kind of sad.
Yeah, I feel like that is a very mother feeling, feeling like you messed up, feeling like if you are parenting, there's so many chances that you could have that you could mess up and not be there for your child.
I suppose
and that
so.
you take it personally. If your child is hurt or feeling upset, you could take that as, oh, I failed as a mother.
I suppose that, yeah, that's true. I hadn't thought of it that way.
It's like falling on your own sword.
Yeah. That must be sad, actually, to think about.
And then also, I think the song is also talking about any ex-lovers that were around. Because Halsey has had multiple occasions of trying to get a baby.
I do recall hearing about that.
It's been a hard journey for Halsey, and Halsey's talked about that on other songs, on other albums.
She's glad she didn't have a baby with G-Eazy. I know that.
But I think I love the losing you is easier than lying to myself that you love me.
A lot of people like that lyric. I guess people connect with it.
That is one of the lyrics where I connect to my mother, based on just her. You know why.
Well, I have some ideas.
Yeah, and we can discuss that privately. I don't want to air my mother's dirty laundry out on a podcast.
I understandably so.
But you know why I would connect that to her.
Mm-hmm.
It's just this song it gave me the room to think about my mother in a different context. Because I see what Halsey says, especially in the last song where she's talking about the Madonna and the whore.
Mm-hmm.
So having your whole personal life, and then that goes away because you have a kid now. So you can't do what you used to do. You have to act a certain way to be a mother.
Yeah.
that feeling. I see that with Halsey. I'm like, oh, I feel so um, sympathetic for Halsey going through that situation, you know?
Uh-huh.
And then after this song, when I like heard the parts that made me think of my own mother, that was when I was like, oh, my. It was like it was such a weird feeling because like you always think of the people around you as being real humans,
Yeah.
but your parents you never necessarily think of them as going through the same like emotions.
That's true.
So it was the first time that I really sat down and thought about my own mother's personal like thoughts and like emotions that she would have had going through becoming a mother.
Mm-hmm.
And like that's why I feel so connected to her through this album because it just gives me a whole new thought as who she is as a person, what she had to lose to become the mother that she is today.
Well, I think that's a sign of good songwriting on Halsey's part for making you think that. I think she did exactly what she set out to do. Are you ready to proceed to
Yes, we
Lilith?
can proceed to Lilith. I have a lot of interesting things to say about Lilith.
Okay. Yeah, I have no idea what this song is about
Okay.
either, but I will say I like it's groovy, I think, in a way
Yeah.
that most of the other songs on here are not. Like I think
I
it's
like
one
the
of the most
flow.
I like the flow too.
And I really love the part where she says, I don't need no fucking introduction.
I know it. Yes. Well,
um,
go on and tell me
okay.
then.
So I do think this is a hard one to dissect. Okay.
Mhm.
But I think that she's still talking about her emotions becoming a new parent.
Okay.
Because in this one, it's an interesting dichotomy that Halsey is comparing themselves as a pregnant person to Lilith, the mother of demons.
Is that who Lilith is?
Lilith in the Bible is there's
Oh.
multiple
Oh,
interpretations,
it's
which is what I'm going to talk to
biblical.
you about.
Okay.
But in modern predictions of like the afterlife and Satan and stuff,
Yeah.
Lilith is the mother of demons.
As a Catholic, I should have known that, but
So I think it's interesting that as a new mother who is getting ready to have a baby, you're calling yourself Lilith.
mm-hmm.
You're calling yourself the mother of
Girl,
demons.
yeah.
It's very like if you watch any like apocalypse shows, especially ones where it's like zombies or something, and a character gets pregnant and they're worried, oh my god, what if this thing that comes out of me isn't alive?
A stillborn
Yes, like what if I
child?
give birth to a zombie? In that apocalypse thing, like I give birth to a
Seems
monster.
like an
What if it
irrational
eats its
fear.
way out of me? Like those are things that happen in like zombie shows.
The Walking Dead?
Yeah, like this was a
Oh,
thought by
okay.
the mother Lori
Wow.
in The Walking Dead.
Didn't know that.
Basically, that whole concept of like
Weird
what is going on
concept.
in me? What am I going to give birth to? Is it going to be good or is it a monster or something? That idea is such an interesting one, especially like countering the typical idea of motherhood bringing like beauty and
Yeah,
life.
I have to say, knowing that makes me like this song a lot more, actually. I think that's a very interesting idea to explore, and one that, again, is not often explored.
Mm-hmm. I think that's where this album gets its uniqueness. Is many people could write an album about motherhood,
Mm-hmm.
but I think the way that Halsey did it is so unique. Is they are not talking about the beauties and the graces of it. They're talking about the horrors and like the grits and the emotions behind it.
Yes.
And I think that is what it makes this album so good. But there is one more thing I want to talk about Lilith.
Okay.
I was doing research about who Lilith is in the Bible and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
There have been other interpretations of who Lilith is. I think this was one that I found that was more Catholic leaning.
Oh,
I'm not sure.
I still won't know it.
But basically, this other interpretation of the story is that Lilith is the first wife of Adam. You know how Adam and Eve.
I'm aware of that.
This
yes.
interpretation is that Lilith was the first wife of Adam, and that in the story, it's that Adam wanted her to be submissive
Mm-hmm.
and subservient.
Yeah.
But she, Lilith, asserted herself as being equal to Adam because they were both made from the same earth.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
So if Halsey was using that interpretation, this song could be about it could be something about trying to assert that they're still a human, they're their own person, and talking about the inequalities between men and women.
I think the first interpretation is more accurate personally, just because,
But I know I like the first interpretation being like comparing yourself to the mother of demons.
yeah,
That one is interesting, but I do think it is also important to talk about that there is another interpretation of it being of Lilith being this woman who stands for liberation and stands for being your own person and being independent and being strong.
yes. And both could easily be correct, because I don't think there's ever any one right way to interpret a
Mhm.
song or an album.
But I just with that level of songwriting for Lilith is so interesting.
I agree. That actually is interesting to me to an extent.
Would you like to talk about that more, or do you want to move on to
No,
Girl is a Gun?
we've got to move on to Girl is a Gun.
Okay.
I like Girl is a Gun.
I knew you did. Do you
Yeah,
want to talk about it first?
No.
Production wise, do you want to talk about it production wise?
I like that it's fast paced, and I think it's a lot of fun. It's something you can dance to for the first time on this album. Well, I guess you could dance to easier. Well, you could dance to Lilith too, but Girl is a Gun, fun song. Finally, uh, and very empower. I think it's empowering because I
Okay.
have no idea.
With Girl is a Gun, I do agree with you. I think it is great production. I like the lyrics. I think that it is interesting and it is powerful.
Hmm.
But story wise, I personally cannot get a sense of the meaning
Uh,
in the story. Um, that changed when I watched the movie, but we're not talking about the movie yet. But for rankings, that is where this song lied for me. I can't get a sense of the meaning myself. Without the visual, I was unable to get a sense of the meaning
You don't have to have the meaning though.
in
You
the
can just
story
well, you
that
don't
she was writing.
you can still
I
allow
understand that,
yourself.
Jordan. And I just told you, I think the song is good. I like the production. I enjoy the lyrics. I just can't get a sense of what Halsey is talking about. And, for me,
I do.
I'm my music experience is one that derives itself directly from being able to find the concept or link to myself. I'm a very lyric oriented person.
Yes, I
So
do
if I
know
can't find the meaning, it loses a lot of weight for me.
I know that, and that's fair enough. I suppose I don't know the meaning either. Other
We will
than
talk about it when I talk about the movie.
I just to me it makes me think of power, her power.
Yeah, you. Once I explain what happens in the movie, I think that you'll understand what the song's about.
Okay, I could see it like her exerting some kind of power or influence over other people in the movie. But we can move on to you asked for this now.
Oh, oh, Jordan,
Oh,
I love You Asked for This.
okay.
You Asked for This is such a good song for me. To
Mm-hmm.
me, I think that is the statement behind the song
Mm-hmm.
is so interesting.
Is it that she asked to be pregnant? I don't.
Huh?
What did she ask for?
Okay, so basically, this song is one that I relate to personally, but I also relate it to my mother
Mm-hmm.
and different things, and also is very strictly with motherhood. Halsey is saying, "You asked for this. You did what you did to get pregnant.
Okay, yeah.
So go on, be a big girl now.
Yeah.
You asked for this.
She sure did.
So if you're gonna ask for this, you did this to yourself, and now you have to deal with it."
I suppose so.
And
For her at least.
um,
Not everyone, unfortunately.
I think that it is such a interesting statement of. Well, actually, I know what you said there.
What I
Repeat
said
that one more time.
that not everyone asked for it?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Think about that in our current society.
I sure am. I'm very political.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
If you think about that in our current society, they are still told they asked for it.
That's true. Oh, they are. You're right. Yeah. Well.
So even then, it's still a statement of society telling them,
Yeah.
go on, grow up now because you asked for it.
How dare those women walk around with their shoulders exposed,
How dare the
Michael?
woman walk around?
Yeah. Hmm.
That's where you end
Anyways,
it.
well,
That's where that sentence ends, Jordan. How dare they walk around? It doesn't matter.
shame on them for
Jordan,
existing.
they could be in one of the blow up T-Rex suits. And it would be like, how dare you?
For real. How I don't know how they could have the gall to tempt the men this way.
But no, like the statement of the idea of someone telling you that you asked for it, so I'm not going to be there for you.
Yeah.
I'm not going to help you through this. I'm not going to help you emotionally because I don't care. You
Uh-huh.
brought it on yourself, so now you deal with it by yourself.
I've never been pregnant, obviously, and I don't think that I could be pregnant, but if I was, personally, if I heard this song, I think it would help me to, if I were dealing with hardships of being pregnant, I think it would help me personally to persevere through that, because
Especially if they were feeling with that same emotion, thinking that they were alone.
mm-hmm.
But I think that emotion can be applied to almost anything.
In general?
Yeah, like a lot of things, like especially if you have a toxic family member, or a toxic friend or something, where you could apply that, oh, you're having a hard time, but them telling you, oh, well, you put yourself there, so you asked for it, deal with it.
I don't know. For me, if other people say that to me, it doesn't work. But if I tell myself that, it helps to motivate me to do things.
Well, I don't think that that's what Halsey is saying.
Well, I don't think it is either. But that's just my
But,
personal.
And then at the end, I love the concept at the ending of the song. Because at the end, I'll pull up the lyrics. I got the lyrics open right here. At the end of this song, Halsey goes, I want my cake on a silver platter. I want a fistful in my hands. I want a beautiful boy's despondent laughter. I want to ruin all my plans. I want a fist around my throat. I want to cry so hard I choke. I want everything I asked for.
Okay.
That switch is such an interesting concept at the end when you accept the fate. It's showing an acceptance of, oh, okay, well, if you're not going to help me, then I'm going to do this. I'm strong enough to deal with this. So I'm just going to accept it, and I'm going to dive right on in and take everything because I know that I'm strong enough to get through it.
Well, then, do you want to move on? Because we are running low on time.
We can move on to Darling.
Okay. It gives me lullaby.
I love Darling.
It's fine.
I love Darling. There's not much that I can say about Darling because of how much I love it. I think that it's very self-explanatory. Darling is such a beautiful song.
I think it's a very nice sentiment, and I think it's just very pleasant to listen to. Although I still think of it as a lullaby, which might be the intention, but it's not really for me.
But for the storyline purposes, I understand that it is Halsey talking to the child.
Yeah, I picked up on that too.
But in the song, it's so interesting that I find meaning in it that exists outside of the realm of motherhood. Because I feel like for myself, this song like almost brought me to tears. Really? Yeah, because it's so beautiful to think, especially when Halsey's talking about, "Don't you worry, there's a place for me." Yeah. It's so nice to hear, especially when you think yourself of feeling like an outcast, of feeling like there's no place for you, and then this song is very comforting to the part of you that felt that.
I suppose.
Especially when it like gets you so emotional in that part, and then she goes, "Darling, don't you cry." Yeah. That alone almost made me cry. Just Halsey saying not to cry after feeling that emotion again.
Well, if you form that connection to the song while listening to it, I could understand that for
But
sure.
that song is so beautiful to me. And then I just really want to talk about the lyric of all the little flowers gave me something to believe in. If you think about more, from Manic.
Oh boy, you're gonna have to
More
explain.
is the song where she's talking about the miscarriage.
Oh, okay,
Okay,
yeah.
a flower bud in concrete.
Uh-huh.
So Halsey has stated that endometriosis scarring, which is what Halsey has,
Mm-hmm.
um, is often compared to being concrete.
Oh, really?
Hmm.
Didn't know that?
So when Halsey said a flower bud in concrete, Halsey was talking about the hope of getting a baby hidden behind endometriosis scarring.
I see.
So the lyric in this song where she's talking to the new kid and speaking about all the little flowers that gave them something to believe in,
Mm-hmm.
Halsey is
Yeah,
giving a shout out to all of the kids that she lost on the way.
I see that. Well, that's nice. Uh,
And
I,
it's just such a beautiful and emotional
it is,
song.
it is, if you form an emotional connection to it, I can see how you would appreciate it more. Me personally, I just think it's a nice mellow song to listen to. But maybe if I listen to it again, or if I listen to it under different circumstances, I'll see what you see.
Hmm.
Next song is 1121, or 1121, I don't know.
It's 11:21.
Okay,
Okay. Do you have anything to say before I start talking?
not really, other than this song is just the worst spells of Santa Fe to me.
Okay. I may overlooked this one because I always forget about it, and then as
I
soon
can
when I
see why.
could you let me finish?
Mm,
Because you're gonna feel awfully stupid in a
oh dear.
minute. um. So I overlook it, and then when I come back and I re-listen to the album, I remember why I like it so much
Mm,
because it is very it's a very good song. It's just you don't remember it after the album plays. But
you really don't.
but Jordan,
Mm-hmm.
this song I do want to give you the context of it
Please do.
because the song is basically Halsey saying that Halsey would have never put anyone. Halsey learned long ago that she would not put anyone so important to her that she would die for them. So she would make sure that she understands that it is not important to die for someone else. Like you live your own life, right?
I kind of agree with her, although in the case of a child,
I'm getting
maybe,
here.
yes.
But it's Halsey realizing that she would do anything for her child.
Yeah.
This is the song where Halsey realizes um, that even that Halsey, like she says in the song, you could have my heart and I would break it for you.
Uh-huh.
This song is Halsey's love letter to her child saying, I don't care what you do, I'm always going to love you.
Of course.
And it's Halsey saying that I would die for you. I would do anything for you. And it is further captured that it is a love song, an expression of love and gratitude to her child when they're old enough to hear it, because the name of the song, 1121,
Mm-hmm.
she found out she was pregnant with her child that she had recently
Yeah.
on the 21st of November,
Oh, okay.
1121. The name of the song is the day she found out she was pregnant with the child she had.
That makes sense. So that's when she came to that realization, presumably?
It's it was labeled that as the title because it is an expression of love
Yeah.
to her child.
Well, I will say I wish that it was a little bit more impactful sonically, but it's a little too low key for me. Like the Bells of Santa Fe is low key. This is even less interesting than that. But for a song about coming to this realization, I would like more emotion and a little bit more production. But I think this song is adequate. There's only one song on here that I don't like, actually.
Have we been over it?
I don't know. You'll find out
Oh my
soon
god,
enough.
you better not. It better not be that one.
I have no idea which one you're talking about, but I it probably isn't. Uh,
Um, So the next one
Honey!
is Honey.
Yes! I love Honey. You probably could have figured that out if you've been paying attention to my opinions. But yeah, I love Honey so much. Michael, you can talk
Okay.
about it.
With Honey, I'm having another girl is a gun situation.
Oh, you would.
Okay?
Mm-hmm.
That there what I can't okay, there's a little bit more because this one's not even in the movie.
It's not?
No.
Why would she do
So
that to
because
that?
if you
No,
listen to me, Jordan,
I
if you let
will
me finish
not.
my
I will
explanation,
not. Honey
this song
deserved better.
has no connection to the story
It deserves better.
because it's very LGBT woman love woman representation. Okay?
Oh, you explained that to me.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's what it is about.
Uh-huh.
But that part of it, I think that this song is more Halsey acknowledging and stating, hey, I am with a man and I had a baby, but that does not mean I'm not still bisexual.
Okay.
I think that's what this song is stating, but it's not. There's not really any connection to the actual story that Halsey is progressing through on the album,
Mm-hmm.
other than that small connection. So that is kind of iffy for me just because of that, and it's hard for me to connect with a woman love woman song, even though I do love the LGBT community. Obviously, if y'all have not picked that up, y'all are literally lacking.
Well, they...
but that I understand why people love this song. It's very catchy.
Yes,
It's very upbeat. It's a great break from Halsey's emotion on the album. But that's borderline what it is. However, I will give it this.
You better.
I think that there is something to be said about the connection on this song of she was sweet like honey, but all I can taste is the blood in my mouth, to the lyric where the streets flow with milk and honey, and I know that, and all I know is the hopeless place that flows with the blood of my kin on Good Morning. Because once again,
that is a long time ago.
She is comparing blood and honey.
Yeah.
So I think there is something to be said about the fact that on this song, she is connecting it to Good Morning.
I suppose so. I don't know much
and
about
if there was
Good
more
Morning.
that you knew about Good Morning, I would want to go in deeper about that, but I also don't want to have to bring up the lyrics to that.
Yeah.
I just do want to point out that that is a connection that should be made.
Well, Michael, I will tell you what I think about this discussion. I think you need to allow yourself to have fun and just let the music flow through your body and enjoy it for what it is sonically.
I do enjoy sonically music, but here's the difference. A lot of people actually get sad listening to sad music. I don't get sad listening to sad music.
Oh, really?
I don't feel sad when I listen to a sad song. I feel the beauty of the song. That's what I feel. I don't feel any sadness coming from a song. So, like on Teenage Dream by Katy Perry.
Yes.
Where we have The One That Got Away.
Oh, okay. You mean the album.
Mm-hmm.
Thought you meant the song, and I was a little confused.
I like the acoustic version more because I think it's more beautiful. Even though it's more sad, I don't get sad. I just enjoy the beauty of the track.
Well, I know you feel emotion from songs, as you said with Darling.
I do, but I don't feel sad from sad songs.
Okay, well, I still don't see what that has to do with your not appreciating Honey.
No, because what I'm saying is that I appreciate it more because I don't have to be sad to listen to a sad song.
Is Honey sad?
No, I'm talking about the other songs that I would possibly rank higher than Honey.
I see.
I don't have to be sad to appreciate that song. Just if I am in a happy, upbeat mood, the other songs do that for me too.
Yeah.
I don't have to have the super fast-paced track to be happy. Listen to the song.
I understand
and
that.
to dance to it.
I also don't really get sad listening to most sad songs, but I do get bored, and I was bored.
I know you get bored because there's a certain song, and I'm trying to remember what the title of it is, but we very much disagree on it all the time. Oh, I know exactly what it is. It's from Billie Eilish's album.
Oh,
It's Your Power.
yeah.
We very much disagree on that song. Anyways, we're getting a little bit off topic. Off
I
topic? Would you
all
like to move back to the next
I
song?
will, but I just want to say that going from 11:21 to Honey, I was saved. Thank you, thank you. The Lord took me up into His arms. I was reborn because, wow, not
Mm-hmm.
11:21.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't bad,
Mm-hmm.
but it just wasn't.
Moving on.
Yeah.
Whispers. I'd like you to talk about this one first.
Okay, I actually do like
Okay, because this
Whispers.
is the one that I thought that you said that you were gonna hate, and I was about to kill you, like
No.
on spot. Was going to like disintegrate your bones.
No, I love when she says whispers you do not want this and all of that. I like
Okay,
whispers.
because I love whispers.
You would. It
Um,
gives me like antagonist vibes.
whispers is about intrusive thoughts.
Yeah, I could figure that.
It is very well done
I
to be about that topic.
I agree.
It perfectly captures the feeling of claustrophobia that comes from the thoughts that no one wants to hear. When your thoughts are overcrowding your brain and they're thoughts that you don't want to feel because you don't usually feel them, it's like something bad, negative about yourself, and you don't want to feel it or you don't want to think about that, and it's crowding you because it's just all you can think about, even though you're not trying to think about it. That feeling of claustrophobicness that comes with that intrusive thinking that this song is emulating is perfectly captured with this song, especially when when she starts talking about the thoughts she's having and she gets up close and she goes, "You do not want this."
Well, I don't get claustrophobia from that at all. I guess I can see how you would.
When you're getting like closed in by your
Yeah.
thoughts, this song perfectly captures that feeling from intrusive thoughts.
Oh, I can kind of see it. If I just have to imagine it differently. I just got more like villain vibes, if that makes any sense. You can edit that out.
It's
Go.
whatever.
Okay. Uh, I don't know how to explain it, but it makes sense to me like you're in a movie and it's her song and she's like the villain of the movie and it's like a Disney movie or something and she like you do not want this or
Okay, that kind of makes sense, especially with the placement of this in the movie. Um, but we'll talk about that in a minute. Would you like to switch to the next song?
I suppose so.
Okay.
What is the
I
next
am not a
song?
woman, I'm a god. This
Okay,
is the song you don't like, isn't it?
we'll find out.
Is it? Is it the one that you were talking about that you hated?
We'll find out soon enough.
So you're not going to speak on this song?
I'll let you speak first.
Okay. It's catchy. It is. I am not a woman, I'm a god. I am not a martyr, I'm a problem. I am not a legend, I'm a fraud.
Where? I'm so sorry. Please justify.
That is so catchy. Literally, anyone who likes this album will tell you that this song is catchy. It is the most popular song on this album. It is.
Do not understand.
Go look at the ratings.
No, I believe it because people on the internet
the
were
most
talking
catchy
about
song.
this song
It's
as
catchy.
well. I just am
For
living.
the general public, it's the most catchy song.
I'm living in another world.
I know you
I
are.
think.
You always do.
Well,
Anyways, I love the power that she has in the lyrics.
it's done better elsewhere.
There's
on
a
this
power
album.
behind stating that you're a god.
Yeah, that's the only good thing about this song.
It's stating that you're a problem, not a martyr. Especially with the visuals the movie gives.
I didn't see the movie, but
Um,
the title is the best thing about this song.
it shows. I think the story wise that the song shows that she's done listening with how others are telling her to live.
Mm-hmm.
That she's going to live on her terms now.
Mm-hmm.
It feels like the climax of the story.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it does.
And don't you think that this album deserved a better climax?
It's a good climax. You're just salty about it.
I
don't know why you're so salty about this song. It's not a bad song.
I don't think it sounds good at all. I don't like the way she sings it. I don't like the production. I don't like the progression in it. I don't like anything about this song. I don't like its placement in the album. I do not like this song. But,
I
you
also
know,
think that it's one of the most catchy songs,
it's
personally.
okay. I'm gonna be very interested to see where "Girl Is a Gun" and "Honey" lie
Oh,
in
yeah, you are, because
relation
you're going to
to.
hear them first.
Oh, okay. Well,
That's right, I said it. Anyways, Lighthouse, since I'm done arguing about how good I am a god, I'm a woman, not a god, is.
is this song controversial?
Lighthouse?
Yeah.
No, why?
Okay. Because I saw something on the internet that made me think it might be.
The people who like her,
So they all like this song?
everything that I've seen from it is that people are applauding the power that she has and saying that she's like a siren,
Alright, yeah.
killing the man.
Good, good. Because this is a much better song than "I Am Not a Woman, I'm a God." Please. This is. I like the Lighthouse. Is it the Lighthouse or Lighthouse?
It's the
The
Lighthouse.
Lighthouse. I like this song a lot. I love nautical imagery in general. Uh,
Uh, I love how dark and deep it is.
I agree.
I think the lyrics are beautifully written.
I, I agree. I think the imagery is phenomenal. It makes me think of being out in the middle of the ocean during a
Uh,
storm.
I also think it's a great follow-up time. I am not a woman, I'm a god. Because if you take what I say that I am not a woman, I'm a god is about, is her, I'm done listening to how you tell me I'm going to live. I'm living on my own terms now.
I
And
think
you apply this to the next song where she's talking about a man dying.
Uh-huh.
Where it sounds like she's going to kill the men who tried to control her before she found herself.
I'm so sorry. Is that what the Lighthouse is about? Someone
Yeah,
dying?
she's dragging you into the deep.
I kind of just thought it was about her being angry.
Yeah, that's the point, Jordan.
Okay. Well, I didn't read that far into it.
From a tender age, I was cursed with rage.
Yeah.
I went swimming with the devil at the bottom of the lake. There is a lighthouse in the middle of the deep, and I'm stranded on the shoreline there.
Love.
I met a sailor on a ship with promise in his eyes. He kissed me on the mouth and dug his fingers in my thighs. But a sailor ain't a savior. So I left him there till the sunrise. He's laying in the water, begging God to let him drown. So I showed him all my teeth, and then I laughed out loud.
Yeah, well, I love that.
Killed him.
I love this song.
She killed him.
I think it does.
Well, that should teach a man to mess with me. He was never seen again, and I'm still wandering the beach.
It does the whole power aspect that y'all say "I am not a woman, I'm a god" does much better. It has tension. It has like a release of the tension in the same song, which I don't think many of the.
Yeah, Jordan, do you not... The climax. Yeah, that's the point.
Well, you said "I'm not a woman, I'm a
Yeah,
god."
it
That's the
is.
climax. I don't.
It's when it's so built in. The climax is when all the tension
Yeah,
is right
I
here,
know.
and it's so close. And then as soon as Lighthouse happens, it releases.
I think some of it
That's
is built up during Lighthouse.
the point. The point.
Well, I think Lighthouse does what "I Am Not a Woman, I'm a God" does a lot better, but that is my opinion, and I realize that it's unpopular.
I also do want everyone to know that I wrote my notes that I'm reading my opinions of these songs off of
Yeah.
before I saw the movie. So for the guesswork that I did on what these songs were about without seeing the movie is so eerily accurate to how the movie played out that I just want to applaud myself.
Well, Michael, I'll applaud you too, because it means you're good at your job, which...
Because I did not write a single one of these notes that I've been arguing this entire time until like way before I saw the movie, like 2 weeks before I saw the movie.
And you wrote a lot of notes too.
Yeah.
Like, you
None of these
paragraphs.
notes were written after I saw the movie. Would you like to move on to Jacques Rene?
I would.
I love Jacques Rene.
You're gonna have to explain it to me.
I love that song. I love that song. It's so freaking beautiful.
I think it's fine.
It's such a great ending to the story, and I think it shows exactly how she feels now. Not only with the in the movie, God in the movie. We'll talk about that in a minute. In the movie, this song made me freaking cry almost. But in real life, I love this song for like her talking about her real life because it's such a sweet sentiment, but it also shows how incredibly selfish she is.
Maybe.
Let me explain.
Please do.
She's basically telling her child and her lover, and the man that she's with, that they will bury her before she buries them because she physically cannot live in a world without them being there.
Right.
So what she's saying is, I will have to die before you because I can't go on without you. So I would rather you all live in a world without me
Yeah.
than me have to live in a world where y'all don't exist. That is
That's,
selfish.
that is selfish.
But it's such a beautiful sentiment of how much she loves them.
Perhaps. I mean, I don't think it's particularly original, but I suppose it's well enough done that it shouldn't matter.
I love the energy too. And it's so vulnerable and it's very much a raw, like, it's a raw, unconcealed emotion in this song.
I suppose.
And a very bold admittance of her love.
I didn't really get that from listening to it sonically. Lyrically, perhaps, I thought it was a little bit underwhelming, but I thought it worked as a closer
Because when
precisely.
she says, I get undertones of sadness when I think about the moments that I never got to spend with you.
Yeah. Again, not terribly original, but it's good enough.
But, yeah.
There's no.
I think it's interesting that the title
Mm-hmm.
is in Arabic.
Yeah, can you explain to me what the title means?
The title means "You Bury Me."
Okay.
It's an Arabic sentiment that means exactly what the song's about. It's you say that in Arabic when you're talking to someone that you love, that they're going to bury you before you bury them because they can't live without you.
Oh,
So the title of the song is literally what the song is about.
Oh, okay. Well, that
But
makes
the English
sense a
transition
little
is
more.
literally like "You bury me" because the English doesn't have a word that means the meaning of the song. It has to be a sentence.
I understand.
But in Arabic, that word means this song. It means the whole long drawn out explanation that I gave you.
Okay, well, that makes me appreciate it more at the very least. I still don't know.
And no, I do not know Arabic at
Well,
all.
I'm sure.
And I didn't look this up on the internet. I got my friend who knows Arabic to tell me what it means. And she told
Oh,
me
is
that.
it the one that I know?
Yes.
Oh,
So
love
she
her.
explained it. So it wasn't internet information that I got this from. It was both Halsey's explanation and what my friend who knows Arabic told me.
Okay. Well, we've discussed the whole album. You wanted to discuss the movie. We are currently at
Okay.
58
Do you
minutes.
want to talk ratings or movie first?
I feel like movie would be
Movie?
better.
Okay. So in the movie, basically what happens is the movie starts out. So she is, the king is dead.
Okay.
Okay? And everyone finds the king's dead body.
And this is like during the Middle Ages?
Yes.
Okay.
She is the queen.
Oh, she is?
Yes.
Oh, didn't
Okay.
know that.
And he is dead. And so the movie goes, and basically what happens is she starts to unravel, be a little bit unhinged about his death. You can't really tell if she's sad about it or not, or if she's scared.
Uh-huh.
Because she both is, but she isn't at the same time. And then at the funeral, you learn that he was physically abusing her
Oh.
because she shows a bruise on her arm that's like the whole length of her forearm
My
to his
goodness.
mother
Oh.
at the
okay.
funeral.
All right.
And
He died
it made
before
me
his
so
mother.
mad because they disrespected her about it too. They were mad at her for being upset that he was abusing her.
The gall of her. Really.
But so she does that. She ends up making a mockery of herself because she's like depressed and she's like dealing with the emotions of her abuser, like moving on from being abused.
Yeah.
He's dead. Then she finds out that she's pregnant
Oh.
with his baby.
Oh, okay.
So she starts having a whole nother meltdown because she's about to give birth to her abuser's baby.
Don't blame her.
And so she goes on the town with all of her friends and she's like drinking and like carrying on and having all this crazy stuff because she is like having a meltdown.
Uh-huh.
And ultimately, the people of the king, like the people of the castle, decide that she has been misrepresenting the throne
Oh, they would.
and that she is going to be put to death.
Okay.
For
well,
it.
She deserves better, probably.
And that her child, if it is not a male, will be thrown into the sea.
Oh. Okay. Look, wow.
Yeah.
Well, that's too much.
It is then found out that the man, basically, what happened
Okay.
was she had too much of him. She was sick of him abusing her because there were
Okay.
so many scenes of where he was like he would punch her,
Mm-hmm.
like dead ass punch her in the face,
Okay.
put her in chokeholds, throw her to the ground, beat her, all this stuff. She had enough, so she put poison in his wine,
Oh, so she killed
and she
him.
gave the wine to him. And when she handed him the wine, he set it down, and then he picked her up by her throat, threw her to the ground, grabbed her, dragged her to the bed, picked her up, flung her down, and then threw himself on top of her, raping her.
Did he know the wine was poisoned?
Nope.
Oh.
And then he goes to drink the wine,
Oh, okay. Well,
like right as he's
good.
about to start raping her. Which
Yes.
clearly it's not the first time that he's done that.
Uh-huh.
Especially if she got pregnant. But he has the wine, ends up dying, like he is about to rape her, and then he comes back and he's choking and he falls out on the floor.
Oh, that's some fast-acting poison.
And it comes back on her and she's smiling because she killed him.
Okay.
But he deserved it.
Yes, I would agree with that.
So and basically they throw her in jail after she has the baby.
Did they find out that she killed her?
They just assumed that she did.
Oh, well.
There was no proof at
well,
all.
They were right, but they still shouldn't have done that.
So basically, she gets thrown in jail after the baby is born. The baby turns out to be a male, so it's not thrown in the sea.
Yay. Ish.
But she unlocks some kind of supernatural ability because there's this whole scene where she finds a witch in the woods.
Okay.
And so
There's a lot going on.
she ends up killing everyone.
Everyone in the kingdom?
Everyone that's guarding her. Like, they all just die. Like, she kills them from,
Okay.
standing in there with her grief. And so she leaves and she goes and picks up her baby. And she takes her baby to the execution. And then they behead her in front of the child.
But they didn't kill her baby.
No.
Okay. So he'll presumably become king?
Yes.
Okay.
But yeah, that's the movie. Which, if you think about where it lies in the movie, the songs kind of lie.
Mm-hmm.
I did a really good job at interpreting the meanings of these songs.
I think so too, actually, because I was kind of able to tell when things would be and what they would describe based on your interpretations. And I will say, I bet the movie visually was stunning.
It was really
what,
good.
Yeah, from what you've described to me.
If she ever releases it on DVD, I'll totally buy it. I will, and you can watch it.
I might watch it, because from what I've seen, which isn't a lot, but from what I've seen, it does look very pretty.
Yeah, it's only an hour long, too.
Uh-huh.
It's super good. I was very mad the whole time, though. Anyways, would you like to get into our ranking?
They did her real dirty a lot of the time.
Oh, yeah, they did. I was so pissed off that they killed her.
Well,
Especially because she got rid of the dude who was abusing her.
I know.
Anyways, do you want to do our rankings?
I am ready to do our rankings.
Okay.
Do you want to go first?
You can go first. We're going to start with 13
Yeah.
and work our way up.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Okay, so I did tiers for mine this time. So there's a bottom tier, a mid tier, and a top tier. And the only song in bottom...
Did you do a ranking, though, of 1 through 13?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
It's just they're
So-
also tiered.
Will you tell us which numbers are in which tier when we get there? Okay.
There's
So there's only a 13 in the bad tier?
Mm-hmm. And Michael, do you think you can guess what
Yes,
it is?
I'm not a woman, I'm a
it
god.
It sure is.
What's the reason?
I don't like the way that song sounds. I think it's brash. I think it's ugly. I think it's poorly produced. And I don't like the way her voice sounds.
Okay.
I do like the title, though. And the title led me to expect such quality, too.
I think it's quality.
I
just
know.
don't understand why you don't think it's quality.
And I really can't explain it. It sounds weird to me in a bad way. I don't think it fits in with the other songs on the
in the
album.
movie, it's really good.
Based on when you described it as occurring, I think it would be better. I
think
would
you'd like it if you
appreciate
saw the movie.
I don't think I would like it, but I would probably dislike it less.
13 for me is Girl is a God.
I knew it.
Because, yeah, I just don't appreciate that song. I appreciate it in the movie. It was good in the movie. But outside of the movie, I don't care for that song.
You need to let yourself have fun.
I do have fun with the other
Mm,
songs in the album.
mm, evidently not.
So 12.
Okay. Ya, I
You
don't
put
know how to
Yachberne in 12?
Yachberne. Yeah, I did. But it's
Ew.
mid-tier, so I like it.
But it's still 12.
Yeah, it is. They are better songs.
So what numbers are in mid tier?
They
What's the
are they
range?
are five. So thir from 12 to something. There are five songs in mid-tier.
Okay.
I just I Yak is fine, but I don't think I appreciated it, and that's okay.
Okay. Um, so at 12, I put Honey. Because once again, one of my least favorites on the album. And the only reason it's above Girl's Gun is because I like the connection of it to Good Morning.
Well, Michael, you were absolutely right when you said that we were gonna have inverse lists here. In this case, very disappointing to see Honey below I Am Not a Wow, wow. You should.
I'm Not a Woman, I'm a God is
Mm,
very catchy. It's the
I
most catchy song on the
I
album.
just don't see it, and other people do. So it's me
Yeah,
that
it's your
it
problem.
is, but I don't
But would you like to move on to
understand.
11?
Yeah, because we're over time by quite a bit. My number 11 was 1121. You probably could have been able to tell.
My 11 was The Tradition.
Okay. Alright.
Because I liked the song, but I thought other songs in its category for me of where I would like put it with songs that relate to it
Yeah.
did it better.
Well, I will say, I think of The Tradition, Whispers, Darling,
Because I
1121.
think of Tradition easier than Lying in Bells in Santa Fe being in like the same kind of category. And so The
Me
Tradition is
too.
the least one
Well,
on that one.
I think of Whispers, Darling, Yachberne, 1121, and The Tradition as being in the same category, and Bells of Santa Fe. And 1121 is my second least favorite out of those. But we can move on.
Okay, so 10.
Oh, you're gonna be upset. It is Whispers,
Because
but
you're wrong.
I understand your disappointment. I do. Whispers could be higher. It, we might switch Whispers and the song above it, actually. So, but
Well,
ugh,
in 10, I put Easier Than Lying.
I'll allow it, but it's not me. They did that. Number 9.
I put 1121
Okay, I won't necessarily complain.
because of how I forget it. But I like it as a song because I think every time I listen to it, I love it.
Mm-hmm.
But I forget it, so that's why it's down so
Yeah,
low.
well, I'll allow that. I've already voiced my grievances with the songs that you
What
put
is your
below that.
9?
My 9 is Darling, but I'm thinking I would put Whispers ahead of
Both of
Darling.
those. So, okay.
I know. I can understand your disappointment for Whispers because it is a good song, but it just isn't my favorite. Number 8?
At 8, I put Lilith.
Me too.
Wow. Did
Yeah.
not think we would ever have the same one.
Well, if they are inverted, then in the middle it would be the same.
Did not. Well, I guess we don't really have to talk about it much if we both agree.
Yeah. Number 7.
7, I put The Lighthouse.
I put The Tradition. I thought you would have done The Lighthouse a little better, and I'm a little disappointed, but again, that's okay. I can see why you would put it there. I put The Tradition there because uh, I think another song that I put in the same category as The Tradition does it a little better.
I put Lighthouse there because I really like Lighthouse, but I think my top 5 are like the best on the album for me, in my
Uh-huh.
opinion. So like they get to stay up there in their own category. And then the 6th song, number 6, I think it's just a little bit better story.
Okay. Well, I understand that. That happens whenever you're ranking something, and I can't get mad at you. So is the next 6?
Yes.
Okay.
I put Bells in Santa Fe.
That's fine with me. I put You Asked for This. Um, yeah. Well, okay. Let's move on, because you're number 5.
Okay, so my number 5 is Yahweh,
Okay.
which is evident because it's a beautiful song.
Yeah,
And
you
I
explain.
like the sentiment of it.
My number 5 was Bells in Santa Fe. That's why I didn't want to discuss the previous one too much.
Do you want to discuss it now that you have your other one listed?
Sure, yeah. I like this song a lot. Out of the slower, more tensiony songs in my mind, this one is the best. I really like the production on it as well. And, yeah. Next,
So in 4, you're going to be mad. I put I Am Not a Woman, I'm a God.
yeah, I am mad,
I
but
put that there because it's in the top 5 because it deserves it for its A, objectively commercial success. B,
no.
I think that it's a great climax for the story.
Mm-hmm.
C, after watching the movie, I think it deserves that spot. And then D, it's very catchy. It's very catchy. So it's the best of the catchy ones, which is why it's in the 5.
I just don't see that at all.
Because, so I put the catchy ones being I'm Not a Woman, I'm God, Bells in Santa Fe, Easier Than Lying, and Tradition. Out of those 4, I say I'm Not a Woman, I'm a God is the most catchy, which is why it deserves to be in the top 5.
We have very different ideas of catchy. I don't know how Bells of Santa Fe and the Tradition are catchy, but we've discussed that already.
I say that because of like the certain lines that she repeats in them. I think that are very easy to get into your head and are very easy to repeat sounding. So that's why I say that it's catchy, because it's catchy in those lines to get stuck in your head. They're very catchy lines.
I think there's a difference between memorable and catchy.
But they're very catchy lines because I find myself repeating them over and over and over again.
If you do, that's you, and that's fine, but it's not me. Next is number 3, right?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Wait, is it?
Yes. Oh, you didn't do 4.
Right, okay. My number 4 is Girl is Easier Than Lying.
That is weird because that's my 10.
Yeah, well, why is that weird?
Because bottom 4.
Oh.
So you put it directly inverted.
Yeah, I figured that would happen.
Okay. Well, 3. You go first.
Okay, as I almost said, my number 3 is Girl is a Gun.
Okay.
This actually on first listen was my number 1, but I changed. I honestly don't know what I was thinking putting this at number 1. I wasn't thinking. Michael, what's your number 3?
My number 3 is Whispers.
Okay, I don't mind that, honestly.
It's very clear because Whispers is so good.
I don't mind that. I wouldn't have minded if that was your number 1, actually. I like Whispers, but it's just, I don't know. I might have done it a little bit dirty in my rankings.
Yeah, I do. I believe that you have done it a little bit dirty.
I don't know.
Just a little bit.
I've had this for like a week or more. Really more than a week, and it hasn't changed. Number 2 for me was The Lighthouse. Yes.
Yeah, you did like The Lighthouse.
I did like The Lighthouse. The first time I listened to The Lighthouse, I hated it, actually. I think I liked it less. Yeah, I did. It was my least favorite. But then I listened to it again, and I appreciated it more, because I listened to the lyrics and got the imagery, and that helps me to appreciate the production as well.
And number 2, I put You Asked for This.
I'm surprised.
Are you?
Yeah, I am surprised.
Are you really surprised that I put You Asked for This in the second spot? I told you I personally related with it.
I know.
And I think that it's a really good song.
I'm just surprised you put something so fun so high.
You really don't listen to lyrics, do you?
I do.
Anyways.
I do.
You want to do your number 1 first?
Sure. Obviously, it's Honey. Obviously, we could have figured that out.
A sex song.
Well, you think everything is a sex song.
No, I don't.
Yeah.
But that is a sex song, hun.
Well, the way you explain it to me, I suppose
it is
so.
a hex song.
I suppose so.
Did I just say hex?
Yeah.
We're not going to talk about that. Anyways, my number 1 is, of course, Darling.
Oh, yeah.
And it has been Darling since I first listened to the album.
Mm-hmm. Well, good for you. No, no more.
You said it.
Well, I did. I'm glad that you were confident in that decision, and if you are, then that's all that matters.
Yeah.
Darling at number 1.
Yeah, it deserves it.
Honey at number 12.
Yeah.
Okay.
At least it's not 13, sweetie.
Well, that's true, but my third was your 13th. Anyways. Wow. No, not today, please. I can't do it today.
Okay, anyways, before we go deal with that...
She would be off today, wouldn't she?
Before we go deal with that, anyways, I hope that you all enjoyed listening to us discuss If I Can't Have Love, I Want Power by Halsey, the brand new album. Go stream it, listen to it. I know the movie's not out, but if it comes out, go watch it. It's great. Other than that, unless you have anything to add, Jordan, I'd like to tell everyone goodbye, and I hope they have a nice day.
I don't have anything to add other than...
I hope they have a nice rest of their day. If there's any other episodes of our podcast out that you haven't heard, feel free to go listen.
I did have something to add.
Oh, what did you have to add?
I just wanted to say that I really like this album as well, and that I think it's her best by far, and I really appreciated it in a way that I didn't her other albums, and you should listen to it, I think. I feel like most people would enjoy it.
Yes, it's a very good album. She did a very good job. Other than that, I hope that everyone has a nice day, and enjoy the rest of your...
Yes.
Yeah.
Have a nice time. Have a nice life.
I hope to see y'all next week for whatever our next episode is going to be. We'll talk about that later.
Yes.
Anyways, I hope you'll have a nice day.
Yeah.
Bye
Goodbye.
now.